got a wild one for you this week.
That's right. This is a fun, energetic, amazing episode with our friend Tien
Tien
Tran.
Ow, bow, 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 bow.
We talk about Hollywood.
Shrimp. We talk about
Sports.
a bed in the middle of a room.
That's right. Kim Cattrall.
And Lizzie McGuire.
A lot's more in store for you, including well-constructed sentences.
I'm terrible at it today.
All right.
Goodbye.
Oh.
Mom.
When your first choice is a big old bus,
You turn around and boom, you end up with a sloppy seconds. Oh, diva. Our number is 213-536-9180. Our email is sloppysecondspod@gmail.com. Now on with the show. How you sloppy, you stupid little you nasty little you dirty little Welcome to Sloppy Seconds with Big Dipper and Meatball. I'm Meatball and that's Big Dipper.
can I just offer to you that I have not known for a long time that that's swearing? Like, we just started, as you know, as many of you know, because you've commented, we just started doing some bleeping here on YouTube. And the first couple ones that we bleeped, I didn't bleep how you you stupid because you do it so fast.
Yeah, you can't even tell.
And I just remember, I feel like it's our theme song.
Yeah.
But it's actually you just calling people
Well, because we didn't have an intro. I think I started that pre-theme song.
I don't even know.
I don't know. 300
Can you
episodes
imagine
in.
a time when we don't do this podcast?
No.
Me neither. I just feel like we're in it now for life.
I know. And now we have one of our only return guests today.
Yeah, the return guest is a very small pot of people.
It very is.
That's right.
That didn't make any sense.
Should we? It very is.
It very is.
Please welcome comedian,
Actor,
actor, writer, and very cool and friendly person. It's Tien Tran.
Ow, bow, 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 bow.
It very is me.
How are you
very
doing?
is
I'm
you.
so good. I'm honestly honored to be here again. But I'm
Well-
also honored anytime. But I didn't know. This is,
Yeah.
I'm like, now
Oh,
I'm nervous.
There's like 4
Oh,
or
no.
5 people who have
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
come twice to us.
I'm honored. I'm
Yeah.
honored to be in both of your presence.
Well, thank you.
I'm honored to be in your presence.
No.
I am now 1 degree of separation from Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, you really,
Yes, you
really
are.
went there.
Yes, you are.
This is also one of the reasons, sort of since I guess we all are saying post-pandemic, even though whatever.
We know it's not over.
I know.
But since
It's over for me.
yeah, you're
Spit
like,
in my mouth.
I've called it quits. No, but sort of since that shift, we've been talking about having you on, but because you are working and booked and busy, you're like, I get COVID tested constantly at my job. So you're
Oh.
like, I can't do anything until we're done shooting.
And thank you for being so patient with me.
No
Of
problem.
course.
Yeah, it was like we were just getting nose swabbed every single day.
That is
Every other
wild.
That's
day.
so
every
crazy.
other day. Yeah.
Well, so what we're talking about is you are one of the stars of Hulu's show How I Met Your Father, which is the reboot. Do you call it a reboot or it's like a
It's
sequel?
like a spin-off?
The technically marketing is call it a sequel. Like
Oh, a sequel.
sequel spin-off. You know, we're in
A sequel gown.
a sequel
sequel
gown.
gown.
A sequel gown. And it's in
How
the
I Met Your
same
Father, Back in the Habit.
Okay, wait.
The Squeakquel.
The Squeakquel. How I Met Your Father. The Squeakquel.
What did they call the Mighty Ducks? Like
just
the sequel?
They just called it Mighty Ducks, Mighty
Two.
Ducks 2,
Oh.
and then Mighty Ducks 3.
Oh, well.
But I feel like they should have been like Mighty Ducks 4, Fly Again.
Yes!
Okay.
Fly far away.
V for
far, far
victory.
away.
5. V for
Five,
victory.
five. V
Yes.
for victory. Okay.
That's great.
Amazing. Okay, so but How I Met Your Father, the sequel.
Yes, the Squeakquel.
You guys have been you did season 1, it was on Hulu, everyone loved it, and then now season 2 has just started.
Yeah, we just wrapped.
Amazing.
my gosh.
And we finished 2 weeks ago and shot our first live show. I don't know if people know this, but the original How I Met Your Mother was never shot in front of a live studio audience.
Oh,
Did you know
was
that?
all added laugh track
Yes,
and
it's
everything? I
all-
had no idea.
Yes. So that is because of the format of the show.
there were a lot of
There's a lot of
callbacks.
cutaways
Yeah.
and
okay.
and so it's like a hybrid. So you don't have a live studio audience. And so this 2 weeks ago on Friday was our very first live studio audience and it was insane.
How was the energy different from
Oh,
doing it the other way?
It felt, first of all, the energy was like absolutely electric. I think I like nervous shat myself like
Stunned.
six
That's
on
on
brand for
right?
us.
You know, there's
We're
like
here.
the adrenaline diarrhea was off the
Mhm.
charts. All of us were just like running to the bathroom.
I love it. I love it.
But you know, you both
Straight to
Yes,
poop.
no, of
Straight to
course,
poop.
of course.
straight.
Yeah.
You both perform. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
feeling.
Yeah.
You know.
Meatball wears a diaper under her drag bag.
Yeah.
All the time. It depends on the day. Now, I have to ask because, like, doing it in front of a live studio audience, I've only been to, like, 2 live tapings in that situation, and they, like, tell you when to laugh and when to, like, do stuff. So how do you as an actor, like, space it out and fill in for that and, like, expect it?
Oh, great question. For us, they didn't. I didn't know that, but they didn't. They let the laughs come naturally.
Oh, that's cool.
To see where people were laughing naturally, which was really fun. And they let us play, like they let me improvise a lot, which is
yes.
so
well, it's
fun
where
to
you
me.
come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not like throughout the scene, but just at buttons. Like I would just like go crazy at the end until they told me to stop, which was it's so fun. And everyone was like, that was our first time for everyone, all 6 of us. That was our first time shooting in front of a live studio. Anyone in the cast.
Oh, wow.
Besides Hillary, I think Hillary has done several multicams and has like guest on
Right.
different shows.
Got it.
Everyone was so good. I felt like a proud mom. I was like, we're all showing up and showing out. It was so fun.
Well, I feel like, I mean, you and I talked a little bit like on the phone throughout the first season and whatever, and I've heard updates from you, but the idea of coming together sort of in this weird time
Yes.
to make a show and then have to be so insular and it's an ensemble cast to then be like, here we are
Yeah.
to a live audience. I could understand the like proud mama feeling.
It was really special. And the crowd was great. My parents were there.
Aw.
And they loved it. They really were like, one, so excited to see me on set, but mostly were excited to take pictures with the rest of the cast.
But that's okay. One thing I want to say is like I've attended a few live shows, and my absolute favorite thing is to sort of see when a scene happens and like the majority of the scene goes well. But then they're like, ugh, what's the button? What's the best joke? Like, how do we do that? And then you get to watch them like do 3 or 4 different versions.
Oh,
And the writers
yeah.
come up and they say like, try it this way. And they try to hide it from the audience so
Yes,
they
yes.
get the genuine reaction from the audience. That's like my favorite thing.
Oh,
It
I
was
love
really
that.
cool. I was also I had never seen like the stand-up comedian that keeps the
The warm
the
up?
warm up.
Woo!
Oh my God.
That's a skill.
That is a
s-
job.
That is a job. It is so hard. And I was like, this man is
I love that.
keeping everyone warm. Magic tricks, dancing. I mean,
Magic tricks.
Magic, I
I
know.
never got that.
I feel like the one point, and again, I'm not I haven't gone to a lot of live shows, but I feel like the one maybe nudge into the 2020s that warm up people could get is the way they interact with audience members. Because I feel like the few that I have seen, there's always the like, stand up before me, sir. Now, where's your wife or girlfriend? Like, there's a lot of like assumption of heteronormative
Yes.
culture, and they're
Yes.
like, you must be a big burly strong man and get all the ladies. And you're like, you can interact in the audience without assuming a bunch of things about people's lives.
and yeah, he did a great job with
nice.
that. Yeah, he
Yeah.
really did. I was honestly impressed. Cause I know what you're saying. It's like, okay, where's your man cave? You're free from your bitch. You know, you're like, now that you're out of your man cave and your bitch wife is at home, are you happy? Like,
Oh,
all
I love it.
you ladies are on your periods, aren't you?
are you guys gonna be able to laugh while you're PMSing? Like,
Yes.
No,
It
I'm not.
feels like that would be the vibe of a warm-up comedy.
and I bet it was like that in the 90s.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully.
Well, the 90s were famously hilarious.
yeah.
So-
We return to them often.
Yes.
Oh, so much.
that 90s show.
I was just watching a Robin Williams movie from like 1984,
Which
and it
one?
was about him. He was a Russian circus act,
This is
and he
Doubtfire.
became a defector and moved to America. And we thought it was like a 2.5 hour
Good Morning
movie.
Vietnam.
It's none of those names.
Wait, what movie is
I
it?
can't-
Patch Adams.
Can someone? You have a computer?
Oh, my bad.
Oh.
Look up. I think it was 1984, but it was so weird because every single joke was like a gay joke,
Yes.
fat joke. Why aren't you women. It was just like the craziest thing, and I was like, wow, we've come so far.
Moscow on
We
the Hudson.
have.
Moscow on the Hudson.
Classic.
Mass
90s
Moscow
stuff.
on the Hud. Did he
Yeah.
have a Russian accent too?
Yes, the whole
Yes.
time, and it was so offensive. He
I
actually
remember
spoke
seeing it.
Russian in the beginning, and it was really bad.
I have not. What's the Rotten Tomatoes on that?
Oh, it was rated very highly, which is
Really?
why we watched it. But it is not funny. It is homophobic. And it's some parts of it are very racist because he like moves in with a black family, and then like that becomes a whole joke for like half the movie.
No.
And there's no plot line. It's just like a series of scenes strung
The-
together by racism.
The tomato meter is 86%. The audience score
That's
is
Oscar level.
59%.
That's
There it
also
is.
Oscar level.
Amazing. Wait, I'm so curious to know about your parents coming to see
Yeah, what's
the
it like
show.
to have parents that are proud of you? Dipper wouldn't know.
Well, this is my
Oh,
line.
no, okay.
This is my line of questioning because I know your parents are very proud of you. But one thing that you and I have talked a lot about
Mhm.
is that like you were not a very entitled young performer who said, "I'm 18, I'm skipping college to go be a star in LA." Like you really had to sort of like workshop a backup plan for a long time,
Yeah.
sort of to appease your parents, right?
Yeah. And you know, it was the type of like pressure that they at first were like, you need to be a doctor. And then when I you know that pressure, right?
Yeah.
You need to be a doctor.
No,
This
our-
family needs a
both
doctor.
of our parents looked at us and they were like, "Do something you love."
I know it. That's so wonderful.
No, meaning that we couldn't do anything
they
of
were
skill.
like, you two dummies. Just find something you like.
Well, they, you know, I did have a backup plan for a while. It was like I was pre-med and then worked in life science advertising, which I know we've talked about on this
Yes, you
podcast.
did.
But it was really cool to see them because they were really like I don't mean to toot my own horn, but my parents I've never seen them that like excited and
Aw.
proud. Like they were just over the moon. Like they just loved every single part of it. It was really cool to see.
That's
Big
so
fucking
cool.
Yeah.
deal
Yeah.
to what you're doing.
I know. They were just like, the best part is that I was kind of on the fence, like truthfully, if I wanted to invite them or not, because I was like, this is really stressful. I don't know what this live show is going to be like.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to be able to like have fun with them and like be like not distracted by that? You know, like all of
Right.
those things. And my partner was like, you should invite them. This is going to be like a once in a, like, they're going to remember this forever. You don't want
Yeah.
them to miss it. And I was still on the fence, and then I called my mom, and before I could say anything, she's like, I love the show, and just like started like talking about how much she loved it. And she was like, your father is trying to get tickets through the lottery. He thinks he's gonna get it. And the lottery is like thousands of people are trying to get
You're
it.
like, I'm on
I'm
the
on
show.
So
the
yeah, I was like,
show.
I need to give them tickets.
Yeah.
And so I'm really glad that I did because they just like loved every second of it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It was just
cool.
very, very special. And
I
I think
love
it's
that.
also just so special too, like, not to be gay about it, but like they came to see like their daughter is playing like a very lesbian character.
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
in
like,
fact, a lesbian.
In fact,
Full blown.
full-blown lesbian. Full-blown lesbian.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
they were with my partner. It was just like a perfect
that's
moment.
so
It just felt
nice.
it felt wonderful.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm screaming, but
No,
You're
it's
fine.
amazing.
okay.
I
You
can
sound,
hear it.
Okay,
You
great.
sound great to me.
Or, you know what it sounds like? Lesbian.
Lesbian.
That's what it sounds like. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Already. And we're back. Slay. Are you warm? I'm
I'm
warm.
I'm
I
taking
think
off the
it's warm.
cardigan. And I want to show off my shirt.
Oh, yeah. Mega Dyke.
Mega
Dyke.
That's a Lockwood shirt.
This is Lockwood that
Slay.
Big Dipper got me.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. He only wears exclusively Lockwood shirts.
Because he just gives me shirts
they're
all the
free.
time.
I mean, they're so good.
I
They're
know.
so good.
People compliment me on the one where it's like two very masculine men, but like in full makeup making out.
Oh, I've seen
And
that
I
one.
forget that I'm like, what's on my shirt? And people are like, cool shirt, dude. I'm like, ugh.
I also get that like out in the world when I'm wearing the shirt that just says like "Stay queer as," and people will be like at a in a sort of like a service or retail interaction where all they're doing is like at the cash register and they'll be like, "I really like your shirt." They're like dog whistling, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a fan."
Yeah.
I'm like, get into it. Wait, so speaking of, this is really cool because you do play a lesbian on the show. And
Mhm.
so you're sort of in this position of representation for a community. And you also like, something that I think when I heard the news, I was like, how cool that your biggest project yet to
Yeah.
date, you don't have to like sort of awkwardly not be yourself. Not meaning you couldn't do it as an actor,
Yeah.
but like how cool that you can like sink your teeth in and be like, oh, I'm representing for the community on a huge, like a very mainstream
Yeah.
stage.
That's very generous of you. I mean, I feel very honored. I know, is that, I do.
Sure,
I
I
mean,
know.
like,
Feel it.
Kate
Yeah.
Blanchett and I talk to each other all the time.
Yes.
And we,
You're like tar tar tar.
I was like, tar, 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 tar.
And she's
Tar,
like
tar,
Sarah
tar, tar, Banks.
Paulson.
Stop.
I feel very lucky, and I like to joke around and say that I'm getting finally gay for pay, but like I never, when you were younger coming out, like I didn't think I could get to play this
Oh, yeah.
like, very goofy, physical, like lesbian on TV, and I try to not think about. I feel like, do you feel like you have to represent our community when we're like, what's the
No, I
press?
hate. I truly don't want to be around them. No, I don't. I mean, I guess we represent the community. I
Yeah.
think we like do a lot for like the bear community in a way. Not
Oh,
like
so
a
now,
lot.
so now
No,
you.
I'm not a bear, but they keep saying I am.
Who's they?
I'm a
Rotten
twink.
Tomatoes?
No, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
Twink death.
Twink. But I mean, I don't feel like a
Visual
lot of
twink death.
responsibility. Like I
Yeah.
just like to like be myself. So it's like weird when people are like, oh, like when my parents came to see my show Fat Slut, which is not, on Hulu or anything, but they came and they watched it and everyone kept
Your show? I'm sorry, it's a party.
party. Well, there's a drag show.
Yeah, but you just compared your party to the
No,
sitcom she
I was
stars
just,
No,
on?
no, but
I
I
was
love
saying my
this.
parents came. I'm comparing it to the experience of my parents coming
And
to
what
it.
did your-
Something you wouldn't know. And they came and it was weird when everyone was like coming up to them and being like, oh, Meatball does so much for us. We're so
I
happy.
know.
And I was like, what the fuck do? I got up here and black out in front of you.
Yeah.
But
you
I think
promote healthy alcoholism.
Yeah.
yes, but I also think that people like I love that answer because I both feel the weight, but I also feel a bit of relief that like there are so many more queer characters on TV
Yes.
now that like
Right.
I don't feel the like whole weight. I do think it's I guess I feel a responsibility when like there is maybe a joke that I'm like that is not helping the queer cause.
Right.
Then
Yeah.
I'll come in and be like I think this joke should be changed. And they're so open to it. They're like, oh my God, yes, we didn't even know. And you're like, okay, yeah, I'll go. But things like that is important to me.
Right.
That like, Hillary said something.
She said, "Don't say gay."
No,
is
she
what
did. She did say don't say gay. But she said something about she did it. Do you know how hard it was for me to not tell her immediately about how much I loved that PSA? When I was like,
You were like, "Wait a week.
Wait a minute.
Just wait a week. Just wait a week, and then I'll do the TikTok dance.
Then I'll do the
I'll do
TikTok.
the dance from the Today Show, and I'll tell you." I mean, really.
I'll do the dance and I'll say, I loved that commercial. That you did."
Sorry, she was. What she said
But
to you?
which I really think encapsulates our show, which is so different from like the 90s sitcom era, is that our show, I think, is very funny, but we don't have any bullies. Like there's
Yes.
no punching down on
Right,
anyone.
Right.
And I think that that's so refreshing and so exciting because I think you can be so funny without tons of gay panic
Yes.
and like
Yes.
homophobia. And just like that's what I care about the most on this show is that like across the board we're doing a better job of telling jokes that aren't at the expense of any community,
Right.
including the one that I like am very proudly a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that what I would say my how I feel different about representation is that everything that I'm putting out into the world as Big Dipper is just coming straight out of my brain. So I feel less about representing like for the community and more like I'm just putting my own shit out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But in your position, you do straddle that world of like you're a cast member on a show where other people are writing
Right.
it, where you go like, oh hey, actually let's pivot this joke, and so and just like the sheer volume of the
Yeah.
fans
Oh,
that are
yeah.
watching is like totally different. But I think it's cool in this day and age that you you can see it as like just a job. And
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. It feels like it should have a lot of like weight and pressure on it, but also like, no big deal. It's a job.
Yeah.
And I get to go and be funny.
Well, what I admire about you both is that you put your own stuff out, and that's what I want to keep doing. You know, I think that's why the pressure of just like being, not the pressure, but like just being yourself is already so much. That's why you have such lovely people coming up to your parents being like, because you're just being yourself, and someone out there is relating to that. And I hoped that, like, I know I'm not for everyone, but for the people that I am, I hope that I'm helping them in some way.
That's great.
So have you gotten do you get any messages now that you're famous?
You're famous on TV.
Like, are you getting lesbian Illuminati
Full-blown.
invites?
No,
You don't go to dinner at Kristen Stewart's house?
Not yet.
Yeah.
No.
Ooh.
I'm honestly pushing for the U.S. Women's National.
You're
I'm
pushing.
honestly pushing for the U.S. Women's National Soccer Team.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's what I want to. That's the Illuminati ring that I want to get into.
Yeah.
I get like a couple messages. Honestly, the best message that I got was from a mother who was like, "I think you'd be great for my daughter."
Yes, that's so good.
And I
That
was like,
is
this is
so
so.
fun.
It's so sweet. It's so fun. Like, that's been my favorite message.
To talk just briefly more about the show, and then we'll move on.
Yeah.
Kim Cattrall, do you hang out with
Okay.
her? Have you?
So she is amazing.
Yes.
of
And
course.
she only flies in to like shoot her in. I know, it's so.
Oh, she flies in.
And I'm sure
Where-
she lives
okay,
on like
she's
an
on a
island,
jet.
like not in New York, like on
But she
an
probably
island
lives in like
somewhere.
Wyoming or
Yes,
something where she has like
exactly.
tons of
Who
property.
knows?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Me
I
too.
think she does live in New York, but let's think that she lives in. I like Wyoming. Go ahead.
Wyoming is
Jackson
great.
Hole. I like
Yes.
that.
Yes.
She has a ranch. I
Yes.
love that.
Frax. I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
She has the set of Samantha's apartment, like,
Like
set
built.
up, like built off to the side.
Incredible.
I would do that if I had her money.
Just to look at.
Just to look
or
at
just
it.
sit in, take Zoom calls in.
That loft was incredible. The one that
Oh,
was
yeah.
in the meatpacking district.
Yes, where the show feature was the bed.
Yes.
Yes.
The show
in the
was
center of the room,
was
raised
just-
up on a platform.
Yeah, and you were sort of like, how do they get angles of every angle of the bed? It's like, oh, it's just in the
It's in
center
the-
of the room.
Yeah.
And then there's like the tiny kitchen off to the side in the bathroom. I think that was it.
I think it was, and it was great.
Yeah.
But to go back, she's amazing. Like, she's really cool. She, on the very first day that she shot season 1, Hillary, Francia, and I all went to just like watch her.
Yeah.
And she was so kind and gracious and
course.
just like very, very cool and funny. Like, she's so. Samantha is like a comedic genius
Yes.
in that
Yes.
show. And like, to have her be a part of our show is very cool. We had our wrap party, and I don't mean to brag, but I was standing at the bar and I felt a tap on my shoulder. And I turned and Kim's like, Tien! And I was like,
I would die.
I was like, I'm she.
I
I was like, hi, Kim.
I would get those nervous poops and just run. I wouldn't know what to do.
What did she say to you?
We were just catching up. It was, I mean,
Oh, just catching
Just
up
catching
with
up
Cattrall.
with Kim Cattrall.
yeah.
That's your new podcast.
Other famous
Catching
friends
Up
that
with
you
Kim
know.
What is, I mean, your
Lily
friends...
Wachowski?
Oh, yeah.
Thoughts?
Love Lily Wachowski.
Oh my gosh.
Love Lily Wachowski.
Do you ever talk about the Matrix?
No, because it felt really. What was the? You know what I wanted to talk to her about was Bound.
Oh.
Do you remember that movie?
Yes.
With yes.
Get on
please.
the little Google machine.
Just such great lesbian vibes, but Gina Gershon.
Yes,
Yes.
Gina
Oh my God, Gina Gershon in a tank top.
No, bro.
No bra did a lot for me.
Slay.
Oh my God.
Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly. So that's.
Oh, and Christopher Maloney.
Oh, is he in that?
Who
According
was
to
he
this
there?
this Google search.
What year was that?
Bound was 1996, honey. That's formative.
That is really formative. I
That's
probably.
what turned you.
I mean, it honestly probably was. I'll be honest. I saw it in clips on YouTube, so
Oh,
who knows
yeah.
if I watched it in order.
That's
but
the way they. That's the way they do it. They'll get you with those clips. They'll get you with the clips.
I'm like, did I watch the movie in the right order, or did I just like recut my own Bound?
Yeah, you're like Christopher Maloney's not in it. It's an all-female cast. I don't know what you're talking about.
But
That-
she's amazing.
Yeah,
She's so cool. She's so cool to work with. I was like very lucky enough to get to work in the writer's room of Work in Progress, which she was like the head writer and showrunner for. And she's just cool as hell
Yeah.
and so smart. And like we worked in her office up in Chicago, and like there were just like cool Matrix things all around.
It
Of
must be
course.
so
Yeah.
wild to like obviously hugely impactful, big part of culture and probably of obviously of her life.
Mhm.
And from what I understand, like lots of work leading up to it, and then obviously filming it, and then the sequels, the squeakquels, the shequels, and then also like they just did the new one that just happened,
Oh
right?
yes.
So all of this stuff, but like imagine just existing in a world where you're like, I made the Matrix, but now I'm going to get a cup of coffee. Now I'm working on a
I
new
can't
show.
imagine it.
I can't
Now
imagine
I'm on
it.
a Zoom call to like talk about like the remodel of my kitchen.
Yeah.
You just have to like keep going on with your life, but like you did that movie. Off.
I know. I
Yeah.
can't believe it's like it's such a formative and also like culturally
Yes.
significant
Yes.
movie.
Very wild.
And to see it also getting taken up by like total douchebags is
Mhm.
Yeah.
one of my favorite things I saw that Lily did was I think like either Elon Musk and Tiffany. No, not Tiffany. What's the daughter's name? The other daughter, the Trump daughter.
Oh, there's
Melania?
Tiffany.
No,
No.
that's the
No,
wife.
that's the wife.
Ivanka.
Ivanka. I think Elon was like, take the red pill.
Yeah.
And then Ivanka was like, I took it. And Lily goes, you both.
Yes!
And I was like,
Fuck
this
off.
is why you're the best.
Oh my
So-
god, I love it.
That was sort of in this period of time because I have seen you really sort of skyrocket as a friend in your career, and like you had a very interesting pandemic experience because even though it felt like the world shut down and you moved away from LA, I feel like your career was like you had this writing gig, you were in this room, you did this thing, you got cast on the show, now you're on a mainstream TV show, and it all sort of happened when like the world was shut down. And you weren't even in town.
yes.
I just swing that.
Email.
Email,
Zoom. Email Zoom.
You're like, I'm really good at auditioning here. Oh.
I mean, I looked at this over. My partner in that time, God bless her, helped me with so many self tapes and was so patient with me because I like to think I'm like an easygoing person, but when it comes to the self tapes, I would be like, okay, well, you're looking at me too much, and like you're reading it. I'd be like, you're reading that in a weird voice. It's like throwing me. But like totally.
Why are you holding the phone like that?
Yeah, totally like a controlling bitch, and she was so patient with we taped like I think over 100 in that time,
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
and
And she's like not in the industry at all.
no,
Like,
she's
doesn't
not in
give
the
a
industry,
fuck.
and she's like, she actually helped me get this job because we.
She was like, something has to change. Let me direct you. I'm gonna get you on the show. Stop fucking asking me to self-tape.
She was so wonderful. We like shot the tape in her parents' basement.
Okay, slay.
And we did the first scene and it was good. And we did the second scene and I felt better. And she was like, I think you should retape the first scene. And I wanted to like jump out the window.
Oh, I
'Cause
know that feeling.
you know that feeling when
Yes.
they're like, after scene 2, I was like, okay,
We're
done.
done. Send them off. I
Send-
don't even
send
want
them
to
up.
watch
I don't
them.
even upload and go. And she was like, you should retape it. And I was like, the fire in my body just like, I like lit up in flames. But I did, and I think it made a difference.
Mhm.
And
Wow.
and then I then had my like callback test with Hillary over Zoom in my like bedroom in Illinois. Like it was just like a very surreal experience and very bizarre. But it was like I think the timing. I had done so many, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just have fun with this character and just
Yeah.
see what
Right.
happens. So
That's what they
That's so
say. I
incredible.
I know.
remember when I was in college, we did like those like they refer to them as field studies, but they like took us to New York and they took us to LA to like talk to people about the industry before we graduated.
What?
And I remember like so many people were like, "Oh, you need to audition like it's your job. Like you need to become so comfortable that when people say like no or like why do you have your hair like that or why did you deliver the line like that, like it rolls off your back like you worked at a coffee shop and someone goes like this is too hot and you just go like great, that's not a personal attack. I'll just make another one." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like I've had the opportunity to audition for stuff like maybe a dozen times in my life. Like someone calls me and goes, "We're doing a thing," and I treat it like it's. I don't treat it like, oh, it's one of a million. I treat it like this is the only thing. And so when it doesn't happen, you just go like, what happened? And it's like, oh no, just do more of them and then you'll feel fine.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I think early on, every single one was precious.
Yes.
Like even the one where I'm like, oh, playing like a police officer. I'm like, this is it.
We're going
in.
Hollywood.
We're going to Hollywood. Like every procedural that I get, that I'd be like the forensic scientist. I'm like, that's me.
This is my role.
This is my role.
You're like, babe, I'm gonna be in character for the next 6 hours while I prepare for this
dead body I'm gonna play.
I'm gonna make our whole apartment smell like formaldehyde.
I have to get in character.
Well, you were pretty mad. Let's take a little break and then we'll be right back.
And we're back. Slay.
Slay.
I love.
Right? You know what I mean?
What's the story on the sequence?
This is just an old dress. They're like leopard print, I think. What do you mean? What's the question? The story is it's fabric that I bought and I made into a dress.
Stunning.
I love it.
Do you know how to sew?
Hell no.
Yeah.
Do you? Oh, yes, you do.
Yeah,
Do you?
No. She makes all of her own stuff. I wish I had that skill.
When did you start?
I learned how to sew when I was in like high school. I went to Interlochen Arts Academy, and so you had to do like a day activity on Thursdays. You didn't have school, but there was like a job that you had to do. And so I was like, what's the easiest job? And I thought cleaning the costumes would be easy. And so I signed up for costume shop and I didn't realize that we had to make the costumes.
Oh my God.
So they taught us how to sew in high school.
What was your first thing that you ever made?
A bag?
I made a dress. No,
Whoa,
I had to sew a dress.
Mine was a bag. Like in home ec, I made it.
They're like,
oh, you're
bag.
going wrong. It was pants.
They're like, fold it, sew it. It's a bag.
Yeah.
Oh no, she was straight up like, this dress has to get made. I'll walk you through it, but like you have to do all the sewing. So she like taught me how to
blown
cut
away
out
by that.
Your friend from high school's on stage with the
the crooked dress.
Just like, it's good.
It was a dress, and she was like, you didn't line it, and I was like, listen, there's only so much I can do.
You're like, I'm 14.
I literally thought it was just gonna be like washing the costumes and like cleaning up the shop. I was like in and out in an hour. I get my Thursday to myself, and then I was there every Thursday from like morning till night.
Oh my God.
It was basically a
little
sweatshirt.
goth. I was gonna say.
And it was sweaty down
Sweaty.
there.
So I want to know, do you get recognized out on the street ever? Has that happened to you?
No.
But you don't really
what?
go.
I don't. I hope you don't really. Well, I don't leave my house. I get recognized in my home all the time.
Yeah.
I don't, and I don't. Like
Okay, cool.
I hope. I kind of like that.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
I kind of
course.
like that. The only time I've ever been recognized was in Illinois. I like went to a bank to like get cash, and the bank teller. You know, when's the last time you've driven to the bank and like talked to the teller through the window?
Oh, never.
Oh, through the
Through the window. I know.
I like to go in
Oh.
and wait in
Oh,
line.
I like to never go in.
I like
and
to
if
never-
I have to deposit cash, I go to the ATM and do it.
I don't trust that.
I get scared about that too. I like to see
Should
the
I
person.
be scared about it?
No.
I think-
Well, I count it and then it counts it, and the numbers always match up.
We love robots
We love
here.
robots.
You're
I
fine.
like the
You're
robots.
We
fine.
love robots. We love robots.
Get rid of the cashiers.
Okay, so the bank teller, you drove up.
Okay, who won't apparently have a job anymore. As it was like we had a very nice exchange, and then afterwards she DM'd me and was like, "Are you on the show?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's like thanks for being so
Oh,
kind."
that's
Yeah, it was
cool.
a very
So
nice exchange, but I
cool.
really don't. And
I thought they might recognize you as a skunk from my drip drop.
I
music,
will.
but That's just.
That's how we don't talk about that anymore.
We don't, but I had to bring
I
it
know.
up. Come on.
Deep in the forest, the baby animals awake.
You
And
were
I
the
was one of them. I was the
You're
skunk.
the star skunk.
I was the
I didn't
skunk.
realize that.
Yeah,
That was
I've been
so
in
long ago.
So many.
I've been in so many videos, and it's one of my favorite things.
Did you see the new video? That
Yes,
she
I
She's
made
in
it.
it. She's
right,
in
yeah, you
Club
are.
Go
Oh my God,
Up.
yes.
And that
I-
was
I
remember
haven't watched it all the way through yet, but one of these days I'll get to it.
Oh my God.
3 minutes.
Well,
I
you're
know.
doing the Quibi approach to it, which is like
She keeps
Every
turning
judge-
her
So
phone.
it's gonna not be around in a week?
no. Okay, sorry.
No, but I remember when I asked you to do it, I was sort of like, "Are you allowed to do
Yeah.
this?"
Oh yeah,
And-
what are the
And
rules?
I feel like you were like, "Yeah, I think so," and I was like, "We'll just sort of like put glasses on you." And I was like, "We'll just stop." We're like, "Put her hair in a ponytail; it'll look different than on the show."
Put her hair in a ponytail, put
Yeah.
some glasses on her, put her in a like 2-piece like
You
matching.
looked so cute.
I
in the
I liked
video.
my outfit.
Yeah.
Thank
Slay.
you. Thank you,
It was
Zara.
really
Wait, so
good.
where do you live now?
I live in Los Angeles.
Okay,
now.
you're back.
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
in
I'm
Wyoming,
properly.
in Jackson
Wyoming.
Hole.
I actually live in Kim Cattrall's Samantha Jones apartment.
That is my bed now.
That is
Yeah.
my bed.
And so, are you? I mean, we've gone for a hike in Malibu.
Yes,
Just the one.
just the one.
Wait, which one?
It was
The one that's like
Solstice
this?
Canyon.
Oh, I don't think I know that one.
It was
was
beautiful,
gorgeous.
wasn't
it was
it?
beautiful, and I was sort of, I will say, at the peak most out of shape. So it isn't that strenuous.
So me last
But it was
week.
like it is strenuous.
I was
Like,
huffing and puffing.
The first time I ever did it, I also was huffing.
Okay.
That I had gone to that hike several times.
But I
now.
feel like now if I were to go, I would feel like a little better about
Let's
it.
go.
You feel great afterwards, and then you go eat fried fish.
Yeah.
Neptunes?
Broad Street Oyster Company.
Oh, that one's good
Which is
too.
really
I like that
good.
one too.
I want to take you to the one that's right on the
on the ocean.
on the highway.
PCH.
Which one?
Right on the PCH, right by there. It's like called Malibu Fish Shack. or
Yeah, so
something
that one's
like
good.
Oh,
But if you go further past that one, that's Neptune's Net, and that's where all the bikers go, and they are hot.
what's your
Right.
order?
Oh, I get the fried shrimp. They have the clams. I love shrimp. It's my
I
favorite.
love shrimp. The lobster roll at Broad Street Oyster Company is
So good.
really fucking good.
Yeah,
Lobster roll's gonna
I
do
made
it.
a mistake when I ordered. I forgot why.
I don't.
It was bad. I think I got like a salad.
You got a soup and a salad.
Because
Yeah.
you were trying to impress her because you were like, well, I hike and I eat salad.
Now you got my card.
No.
Now you pull my
Big
number.
Dipper was like,
I went out yesterday and ate a salad, and I was pissed when I saw a shrimp pasta go by, and I was like, that could have been mine.
that you're like.
I mean,
well,
Big Dipper, you were in your Panera era. You know, you were
Yes.
just like everywhere I go.
I was like
soup and
or
salad.
soup or salad. But I do want to ask the sort of questioning that I'm going down about being recognized is like we sort of teased earlier about not being obnoxious on social media. You, unlike maybe some other people in Hollywood who are working towards, having this brand deal and doing this and starting a show, like that's not the sort of social media aspect of things is not really your bag. You don't really like that.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I totally respect people who want to do that, but
Right.
I think I just want to do like my stupid goofy shit. Like
Yeah.
I want to like do stand up, and I want to start making my own like. I used to do like little character videos or little comedy videos, and I don't know if that will help sell peanuts. Like I don't know if
Right.
people, like I don't know if those will help sell any of the brands that like Kettle One. Like I don't
Right.
know if they'll be into that. So I want to just stay in the world for now. Who knows? Maybe someone, some brand will come over and I'll be like, okay, great.
Right.
Well,
Like,
you can maybe pitch your Green Onion song. Wait, what was it? I think about it all the time.
oh, my Scowl
Your
Gals.
Scowl Gals.
I would love
and then
to
they
represent
died because you
Scowl.
forgot to
Yes.
fucking rewater them. I think about that constantly.
Do you really?
Yes, because I keep them in my kitchen, and I'm like, oh, if I don't rewater them, they're gonna get slimy.
Exactly. Oh,
Because of
see,
the song.
Public service. Thank
Yes.
you.
Well, it's interesting because you're friends with Ryan Asher,
Love
who
her.
Oh,
recently helped us host our 300th episode,
Pizza
who's
game.
been on the show.
She's the best.
The best. And I was actually surprised when I saw how much she posts on TikTok and how sort of prolific. Like I
She's
feel like
incredible.
there's new videos constantly all day. And initially I was like, oh, I wouldn't take her for being on social media, but then it's like, oh, she's just doing bits and characters and
Yes.
comedy.
Yes.
and she has cornered. I mean, she has like hundreds of thousands of followers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She would be. I think she's like TikTok famous.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yes, agreed.
But going back to what you said earlier about like being precious with your work, I think she just records like 10 in a day. She doesn't overthink it. She's not trying to edit it.
Yeah.
And she just gets it out there.
And I wish I was there.
yeah, I want to
Yes.
be able to do that, but I overanalyze everything, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it.
Literally same. Because
Same.
I always go like,
Yep.
I literally anytime I'm like, oh, I should be posting more. I go, well, we do the podcast. We're
Yes.
constantly putting
Yeah,
stuff
but then
out.
all
We're
it is
fine.
just us sitting here,
Going
like
like this.
talking and like cutting back between us.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think we're all that sort of, well, you're younger than us, but like we're in that like, millennial
Yeah.
sort of, we're not even Gen Z cusp. We're like firmly
No, we're
in the
firmly
millennial.
millennial, right?
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think there's an interesting relationship with social media there, because whenever I meet people who like don't really post a lot or are like on private, I'm always like, oh, you must be cool.
Well, maybe they're not. Sometimes,
I
sometimes once you
know.
get into their like once you follow them, they let you see it. You're like unfollow.
Yeah.
I've done that.
I'm done. I've done
I
I've
need
done
to
that.
see your dog from 12 different
Yeah.
angles, please and thank you.
And then you're like, why are you on private?
yeah. What are you hiding? What is important here?
Well, I guess you and I are less phased by like negative comments.
Oh yeah. I don't read comments anymore.
I finally stopped.
Yeah, you gotta stop.
You gotta stop.
What if someone's in there trying to like say hi or engage?
No.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Come to the show, I guess.
Sorry.
I read so many comments.
Oh, you do?
He reads them and then finds the negative ones, screenshots them, and then sends them to me. So I'm forced to see them.
They're negative about me.
I know, but still, I'm like, I know there's some shitty ones about me in there. I just don't want
Not
to know.
really. I think they're only attacking me on the show.
No.
But I also read them. Thank
No,
you.
I'm
Say
gonna
it right to the
wait a
camera,
minute.
too.
No.
No.
I'm gonna find every single one of you.
And we're gonna go on a hike.
I'm gonna take you on a hike.
That
You
went up
okay?
my nose.
I read a lot of the comments because I produce so much of the content that
Yeah.
we make here that I'm like really like I want to make sure we're not producing a bunch of stuff that everyone unanimously hates, because then it's like, what's the point?
Do you think when you see them though, would you change? Like, have you ever seen a comment that you're like, oh, that's a good idea?
No.
Like,
Well, I would say a couple,
okay,
and they've been like, oh, you should put the link for the whatever here, and
Okay,
I'm
that's-
like,
that's
oh,
very
that's
different.
That's
smart.
constructive.
That's
Yes,
constructive.
not
there
like-
are occasionally some constructive ones, and I go like, oh, I'm so inside of this that I'm unable to see that.
yes.
But a lot of them are like, Meatball needs her own show. Get rid of Dipper. Like, they're just like
What?
awful.
Are you kidding me?
And he sends them to me, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this information? I'm not leaving.
Those people are sad.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I think.
I like to know what's out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think I have a pretty fortified self-confidence. And so, because, who you would have to sort of strip naked and do what I do.
Truly.
Yes.
Out, you know?
And so,
I also think like
I just
very
wanna
confident.
know.
I think very confident people also rub people who are insecure the wrong way.
word.
Is what I think. Is what I think.
Very smart.
That's why I bully almost everyone online.
You're like, the reason I don't engage in the comments is from my side,
It's my.
my side accounts, bitch. I am bullying.
But I've done it, and it's like
Bullying?
yes, no. Reading the comments, and my partner said something very like. She is one of the people that is not on the internet. She doesn't.
Right.
She doesn't have like
Jealous.
she doesn't have Facebook. She doesn't Instagram. Like she just doesn't engage.
I literally go like, how do you find? And she's like, it's okay. You still
Yes.
live life.
Yeah.
You still live life. And she gave me this piece of advice, which was like, you keep reading these comments, but I think you need to remember, like, don't take criticism from people you wouldn't take advice from. So, like,
Slay.
Word.
like,
Yes.
I remember I clicked into something and someone was like, I hate Ellen. Like, I don't know why. I was like, I'm going to click this. I can't not stop.
I must know.
I must know. And then it was like a million selfies of a very strange man. And I was like, what am I doing?
Yes.
I'm just like, what am I doing here?
It's
like, how am I
crazy.
What
here?
brought me here?
It's
Hatred.
crazy that a little
Yes.
picture, a little avatar, and some clever screen name, you go like, oh yeah. Versus like you meet a person in a coffee shop who's acting wild.
Yes.
And you're like, I'll listen to everything they say. You're like, no, I
No.
will write them off and move on with my life.
Exactly.
But you
Exactly.
see one little thing.
Although in a coffee shop, if someone's acting crazy, I will watch. And like saying a bunch of nonsense.
But you won't be like,
Seated.
but you won't go over to him and be like, what do you think of me?
Yeah. Oh, no.
I'm
I'll be
looking
like,
for some
what do you think about him?
feedback.
Move it out. That one looks weak. She might cry.
Stop.
You gotta stop. You gotta stop if you can. I get it though. I get looking. I get it.
What's happening in sports? What should we be paying attention
Thoughts on
to?
Oh
sports?
my gosh, I love this pivot.
Basketball?
Women's basketball, college basketball. We're moving into March Madness.
Like,
Right.
Okay, NCAA tournament.
Yes.
That will be very, very fun to watch.
Okay.
South-
And you fill out a bracket.
You
for
fill out a
that?
bracket.
Okay.
And
And
that'll
you
be
bet
really-
and you do gambling.
No, I don't. I wish I did though. Have you ever seen? I follow all of the like ESPN Sports Center, and they have
Uh-huh.
been posting a lot of like sports betting
Isn't that
results.
illegal?
I think it's legal now,
Oh.
but you'll see someone who's like bet $13 on a whole list of things that if they are able to get every single one right, it's like who throws the first pass, like touchdown pass, like what song is Rihanna gonna sing first? Like it's just like
I saw someone
all
the
of that-
length of the national anthem.
things like
And
that.
they were like, oh,
Wait.
we bet 2 minutes and 1 second, and it came in at 1 minute and 59 seconds or something
But
like
I'll
that.
see someone bet like $13 and come back with like hundreds of thousands of dollars because they named like everything correctly. I don't want to get into it, but I could see. where
How
it
you
be
would.
fun.
Right side of it.
I could see the fun side of. I could
You
see the
live
fun
in a
side.
gambling
I
household.
do.
Are you? Wait, you do
Yes, my boyfriend is a gambler, big time gambler. Goes to
poker?
Blackjack,
Oh, okay,
poker.
fun.
Trips to
but those are
Vegas.
trips to Vegas. Has been kicked out of almost every casino for winning too much money.
Oh,
Russian
hell yes.
roulette.
No, he doesn't do the Russian roulette.
Yeah, that's with a bullet.
No, but we could. I mean, it has come up. You know what I mean? There's a gun in the house. I'm just
So
kidding.
who's your team?
Okay, so as you know, I've said them. I've brought it up a couple times.
Immediately, I've already glazed over. I'm
I know.
sorry,
Wait, why
it's
are you?
so
Why are you
I'm just
Why would
curious
you
about
ask
sports?
that?
I'm
and then be
sure
like,
there are
"Oh,
listeners out
Lord."
here who want to hear, and I do want to hear.
Okay, ask the full-blown lesbian to tell your audience about
I
sports.
just-
And then roll your eyes.
I just wanted to acknowledge the fact that I was like, I'm gonna
I
come
know,
to
I
you
like
and
this.
say, "Who's your team?" And I immediately was like, "I don't care." It's so rude, but it's the truth,
Okay,
and that's why
well,
we're
how
My
here
about-
team
for
is
it.
the Warriors.
Okay, they're so fun.
They're good.
Steph Curry is so cute.
Hot,
Okay.
yeah.
Hot and
Okay.
cute and hot
Want
and
it.
fun.
Yes.
Have you been to the women's soccer team here in Los Angeles? Angel
No.
City FC.
No.
Such a fun game.
Where do they play?
They play at the Banc de California
Okay.
down by the Science Museum. I think it's over in that area. I think it's. Look at me pointing.
Yeah.
Like it helps anyone.
It is that way.
It
though.
is. Is it that way?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I don't know which
Um,
way we're facing right now.
Such a queer environment.
Really?
Oh.
It's such a wonderful. It's so gay.
When
like
did they play?
they're starting up again in March. And
I
we'll-
would like you to invite me.
I
to
would.
a
Let's
game.
go.
And then
It's
we
gonna
should
be-
all go to the rugby game and watch those boys hit each other.
Oh
what rugby
yeah,
game?
there's like a
There's
gay,
a gay
rugby league.
Okay.
too.
Our friend
So
plays.
you can
in it.
introduce us to the lesbians,
And
and,
I'll-
then we'll
please.
take you over to the gay men.
I mean, I'll watch that.
Yeah, I want to see guys. hit
And
I
they're
each
wanna see
always
that.
thick, and then they always pull each other's pants.
And
so
their
you see a lot
huddles
of
are different too. Have you seen
butt
the?
crack.
They're like right up in each
Oh
other's
yeah,
asses.
they
They're
like get up in there.
Yes.
They rip
Well,
each
that's
other's
the best
shorts off.
hook.
I know. That.
Yeah, you gotta
That's the
get
best
in.
grip.
They're all loose.
All right, let's
Thank you for asking me about
take a
sports.
sports.
By
You're
the way,
welcome.
Let's take a. Really did light up.
You did.
sorry, I love
No,
it.
no apology
Oh my
necessary.
god, I
knew.
love it.
Because you are always like, let's go! Like, that's the one thing you will post about on social media. You're like, fuck it, my show's coming out. I don't really care. I'm doing comedy. I've got this, like, special writing credit. You're like, go team! You, like, post a screenshot about someone getting off the bench because their injury is over. And I'm like, go off, sis. You better
I feel
do
very
it.
seen right now.
Yeah.
I
She's
could
like,
care less
sport-
about sharing Hulu stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's. No, I do, but
Yeah, you're like
Also sports.
basketball. You're
Sports.
like women's college basketball and a thick, juicy steak. Get some A1 sauce. That's my night.
Wait, how are you? How
know me
often are
so
you
well.
going to the games? to watch?
Well, I've been to like 3 already in this or in the fall,
Yeah.
and I want to go to all the home games. So that's
Season 6.
season ticks. I would like to.
slay. That sounds
I
fun.
would like to do that.
Yeah, you could sing the national
I'll
anthem.
sing the national anthem. It'll be
Under
so
two
good.
2
minutes.
minutes and 45 seconds.
Let me know what your bets are, and I'll make sure.
That's
That's
it.
illegal.
That's
Cheryl Lee Ralph knew. She knew.
Well, she was singing a different song.
What did she say?
She sang the Black national anthem.
Oh.
yeah. Lift every
Voice.
voice.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a break. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
Down.
Down.
Okay, so we get amazing voicemails.
Okay, great.
Some of them.
That people call in. So I've chosen just a few that I wanted to share with you and get your take on.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
And this thematically,
Like advice.
Well, thematically, this is a segment we called
Talk!
Okay, great.
right, and so there's the title of the
Oh,
segment.
that's how you spell it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's with the cent sign and an asterisk. All right. So here is a call for us to listen to.
Hey, Big Dipper and Meatball, I got a question for you about inviting someone else to, like, a pre-planned hookup. So I just met up with this dude, not even a 5-minute walk from my place, so it was perfect. Never saw him on the app before, but he looked familiar. I went over to his place, and he was like, oh, can you hurry? Can you come fast? I was like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's late anyway. I got work in the morning. So I get there. We immediately start making out, undress, and then his phone goes off. He goes, oh, I think another dude is here. I was like, bro, what? Like, that's fine. Like, if you told me ahead of time, but now I'm totally thrown off. So, like, I'm not as hard because I'm thinking about who's walking through the door. Are they going to like me? Am I going to like them? What's this dynamic going to be? I mean, thankfully, the guy who came in was actually more my type and hotter, in my opinion, than the first
rude.
dude. So it worked out well. So I was topping the dude I went over. He was topping the other one. Great time by all. We all I twice. And I actually messaged the invitee, the inviter, whatever. I don't know. The guy who came in and disrupted my day.
Invitee.
Separately. And so hopefully I can meet up with him
Yeah.
for a one-on-one, because that I think would be a lot more fun. Anyway, thoughts on inviting someone to a hookup when you didn't tell the other person? Okay, thanks. Goodbye.
Wow.
Let's tell this to you. What are your thoughts?
I mean, it ends so well.
Yeah, it's sort of the best possible.
Yeah,
It's the
I
best
was like,
possible
sounds like you
sort
had a good time.
Yeah, like twice, and then everybody and you liked him better.
You topped him, he topped
Yeah,
him.
he
I was
topped
like, I
him, he
wanna-
topped
Bippity
you.
boppity boo.
Y'all played
And
some,
then you're gonna hang out later. I mean,
Cool.
but I think initially to get to the core of the issue,
Yes.
I think you need to tell someone.
Yeah.
You absolutely have to tell someone that someone else is coming over. You need to be like
And show them
fully-
pictures.
fully transparent, just so everyone is on the same page.
Yes.
You can't just have like a surprise. That's my thought.
That
That's
is
correct.
okay. And I will very honestly own up to being in a mood where I'm feeling like, baby, I want all the in my mouth.
Uh-huh.
And messaging with someone who goes, okay, great, I can be there by 4, and it's 2:45. Well, baby, in my mind, I'm not gonna put on an episode of The Last of Us and clean up my kitchen until 4:00. I'm like, I'm already in the mood. So I'm like, if there is someone who can sort of come and go within, like, just because you said you're coming at 4 doesn't mean you have now laid claim to my body for the whole day.
Oh, yes.
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 Which is, a relatively promiscuous thought, but
I
still,
think that's
I'm like,
completely normal.
I think that's normal.
so I have been in the position where the person comes over and I'm like, I have 10, like I've had to lie and be like, I have to go pick up my friend, so I need to leave in 10 minutes. Are you okay with a quickie? In order to get them out of the house
Yeah.
before the scheduled person
Yes.
comes over.
But you're not doing a
But you're-
thing where you're surprising a
Right.
person.
This felt
So-
orchestrated.
What I'm
Yes.
curious about is if it was, what's that thing?
What's that thing where there's a bunch of people,
People in the room and they're all
someone's playing like a violin and
instruments.
one's doing a
Orchestrated.
Tartar
this-
Banks. No.
Yeah, exactly. tartare. Yeah, shrimp tartare.
Shrimp tartare.
It does feel sort of like, was he just bad at scheduling, and it turned into a threesome, or was it an orchestrated surprise threesome? Because I'm curious.
That sounds orchestrated,
think
because
so,
why would
too.
you have someone over that close to it?
Yeah.
Like even you,
Boom,
if you had a
surprise.
if you had a
Yeah.
4 o'clock schedule, and then
Uh-huh.
you wouldn't have, well, you wouldn't have someone at like 3:30 or 3:45.
I might say it's got to be quick.
It's gotta be
Or
quick.
something else gonna happen. You know how sometimes you like set up.
Sometimes it's 90 seconds. Sometimes they walk in, they've been horny all day, they pull their on, they're like, and you're like, well,
Gotta go.
You gotta go. But unless they can guarantee that, you're not having them over at 3:45.
I
Also,
wouldn't. No, I
sometimes
would
you
be
know how
too
when
scared.
I remember you used to set up a time, tell someone to be there, and then they didn't show up for like 2 hours later, and you're like,
Oh.
I'm not home anymore.
That's
I
why I
thought
give
you
them
Yeah,
the
that-
address,
ghosted
but
me.
not the apartment number.
Okay, see, that's smart.
So they
That's
can't come
very
knocking until they go,
smart.
oh, wait, I'm here, but I don't have your apartment number. Oh, you're outside? It's apartment.
That's actually very smart.
That's really
Yeah.
smart.
I give them the house next door.
You would. I
And look
used to
out
give
for
him across the
binoculars.
street.
I would know.
I used to give him the across the street address.
But good.
Be like, oh, no, I'm over here.
Oh no!
I'm
no,
over
no, no,
here.
no.
Yeah, but
Oh
then,
hey!
but then
They're
you're
like, "Did you
standing
move?"
at
I'm like,
someone
"No."
else's door,
No,
ringing the
you
doorbell.
catch him before, because you don't give him. It's always been apartments, so you don't give him that apartment either. You just give him the address across the street,
Yes. Okay. See, that's
and then you're
smart.
like, ah, over here.
I'm
I've had that. This did happen to me one time in New York, though. Back when I lived in New York.
a surprise.
A guy.
What
well,
neighborhood?
I got there and there was 2 people already there,
That's happened to me.
Reverse surprise.
and I had to be like, I guess I wasn't attracted to the other guy, and I was literally a walk down the street back to my apartment, so I could have just left, but I was like, yeah. So the whole time I was only fooling around with the one
Okay.
that I knew, and the other guy was there taking care of the business.
This happened to me in WeHo. A man
It would.
invited me over. I drove over. He lived on Permit Parking Street.
Ugh.
I was like, ugh, this is so annoying. It was that part of WeHo that's like, I could
Honestly, homophobic.
I could
Truly.
have parked. I know the whole city is.
The whole city of WeHo
I
is
could have
homophobic.
parked somewhere else, but it would have been like on Santa Monica, and it was like Sunday afternoon, so it was like full of
Oh,
Sunday fun day.
no.
It's totally parked up, and I would have had to walk like 3 or 4 blocks. And he was like, "I have a parking pass," so I was like, "Great." So I park my car. I go up. He's right at the door, and he's like in a jockstrap already. And he goes, "Here you go." He was like, "Hurry back up." I was like, "Great." I go down. I put the pass in. I come back up, and then someone else opens the door
Okay.
and says, "Oh, he's back in the bedroom." And I walk in. There's like 6 people in
Oh.
the apartment. Couple people hanging out in the living room. I go back in the bedroom.
Are they
He's
all?
like,
Are
he's
they
like
all?
up in a sling, and some guy's getting ready to fix him. And I was like, "Oh, this is
You
like
did not.
a,
You were not given
no.
any of the
you're
heads up.
doing meth all day and each other."
Yeah.
And I thought I was coming over for a one-on-one. So I just like turned around and left. And I was like, now I gotta go bring the pass back up.
Steal that
Oh.
pass.
Yeah. Take the pad. Did you take
I
the
would
pad?
have stolen the pass.
It wasn't like a day of. It was like a permanent.
Yeah,
Like,
and I
Oh.
would have permanently kept it until it expired.
I mean, like, baby, I can
Baby,
park in
zone 3
Baby.
of
WeHo.
WeHo, I'm parking every day.
I mean, that is kind of amazing. Yeah, and he was probably rich based on where he
I
lived.
know.
He could have bought another pass. You. This caller did call back and leave a secondary voicemail.
Oh.
Oh,
It's kind of long and confusing, but what the information was truly the guy who invited everyone to the house, he was in a hurry. So even after the threesome, the guy whose home it was came first.
Okay.
The other 2 were still going at it. He got up out of the bed, put on his Apple
left?
Watch, started like messaging, like going in the like moving, trying to get
trying
them
to get them out.
to
Oh,
be
I
like
see.
Get
done.
out.
And it's
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
if
No.
you're putting a surprise threesome on me, at least let me
You're
and the
gonna be
other person
surprised
Oh my
know.
late to
God.
whatever you're
Yeah.
going to, bitch.
No, he was like, "Oh, it's getting late. I'm tired."
No. No.
No.
No.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
And to the top.
Ta-
All right, here is our next VM.
Should have worn a bra.
Hello, fucks. So I have a little bit of a fuck talk story.
Okay.
On election night 2016,
Okay.
Oh,
Not
no.
election
I
night.
cried.
I remember exactly where I was because I was going to one of my first ever Grindr hookups. I was 18, and I went to this guy's house, and he lives in a trailer park, which is fine. I don't judge. We're equal opportunity.
Okay.
And
Sounds like you judge.
Yeah, you're judging him right now.
I go into his little, like, trailer
Little? You're being
the
rude.
election, and I sit down on his couch, and it smells like cat piss.
No,
It
I'm
smells
just kidding.
very strongly
So
like cat piss. And he's sitting on the couch shirtless, and he's talking about, like, so have you been following this election? And I'm like, yeah, I did. I voted. And he was like, who'd you vote for? And I was like, Hillary. And he said, oh, well, didn't you know that Hillary's corrupt and crooked and that Donald Trump is going to save our country? And I was 18 and I was horny and I did stay. And I'm sitting there like, oh, okay. And he gets up and he's like, hang on a second. And he makes a bologna sandwich with bologna, American cheese, and Miracle Whip on white bread.
No.
And he sits back down and he eats the sandwich. And then after he eats the sandwich, he says, come here. And so I start kissing him, but it tastes like bologna. And I say, okay, I have to use the bathroom. And so I go to the bathroom, and the floor is missing. There is no floor to the bathroom. It's just a hole that leads outside. And so I'm like, okay, well, I do have to pee, though. And so I piss over the hole and aim into the toilet. And I got a shoe game, and so I did make it in. And I walked out of the bathroom, and his dick was out, and I sucked his for a while, and we did have sex.
Is that the end?
Is that the end?
I lost my mom's favorite hat. So that's where I was. Where were you? Goodbye.
Wait, stop. And I wore. Wait. And
I lost my mom's favorite hat. Which means
What
he
does that
wore
mean?
his mom's favorite hat
hat.
to the hookup.
And what do we think it was? A visor? A
I
bucket hat? Like, what are we thinking?
I immediately was like, oh,
Sun hat?
must have been a wild hat. But
Yeah.
I think it's a baseball cap.
Oh.
Okay,
or
okay,
probably just
okay,
like
okay.
her college on it or
Like,
something.
yeah.
Something
yeah.
that's like, yeah, okay.
What if it was the Hillary logo with that arrow? Remember that?
I'm with her.
I'm with her. It was an
Oh
I'm with
my
her.
God.
Oh my God.
What a dark story.
So much to unpack.
Yes. Where were you on the night that Hillary lost?
Oh, I mean, I was with friends, and as it started to, my partner and I were long distance at the time. She was in New York and I was in Chicago, and I remember sitting with friends because we were like, "It's gonna happen."
Yeah.
And as it started to dawn on all of us that she was gonna lose, I also I did a tour, like a sketch comedy tour before leading up to the election. I saw a lot of the country, and I honestly thought, I was like, I think he's gonna win. So I wasn't like
Yeah.
that surprised.
Yeah.
But then I like remember just going back home to the apartment that I was subletting by myself and just watching that New York Times dial just like
Oh, yeah.
toggle back and forth. I know.
I was at Precinct, the gay bar, and we were watching it, and the energy in the room, people started leaving. There was like 4 or 5 drag queens dressed up like Hillary who were
Oh,
just crying.
no.
And it was, if it wasn't so funny that they were all dressed up, like
it's actually
it's like
in-
it was
it's-
like
it's
everyone was like
very
dancing, and then
sad.
It's very
slowly,
sad. It's like-
slowly the mood shifted, but the music was still playing, and it was like that, and everyone was crying, and I was like, I have to go home. I can't be here for that.
Oh my God, were they all in pantsuits?
Yes,
I'm
they were
just like-
all in blue pantsuits, just crying, like
No.
mascara running down their face.
Ugh.
I was at Lauren's house, and everyone who was there are usually people who are just like, I'm cackling at.
Yeah.
You know, it was like Mary Holland and Lauren, and like,
Ugh.
just like, and everyone was just like, bummer. Like, it was a
It got
really.
dark.
Yeah,
Ugh.
and if you were hanging out with like a group of your like liberal and progressive friends, it was
It
like
was
a
a hard-
really hard pill to swallow and
Yeah.
just be like, oh.
It was a really hard bologna sandwich. to
Oh
swallow.
my God, the bologna
The bologna sandwich is by
sandwiches.
far the most disgusting
It's the
thing.
most offensive thing I've heard.
Especially when you're just about to have a hookup. Like, why would you eat when
In
they're
front
there?
of
In
and
front
they're
of.
there? Wouldn't you wait?
Well,
That's also like a
just
very
trying to-
that's the type of sandwich too that gets like
Yeah,
you
it's
know
wet.
like stuck
You
in
know
your
it's in the roof
mouth
of your
and
Oh,
mouth.
in
yeah.
the roof of your
all
mouth.
of
Yes.
The, yeah.
Ugh.
This
Oh.
did
I don't like that
remind me of
feeling.
a very hot hookup I had in a trailer park in Austin, Texas.
Ooh.
And the guy picked me up at the club after I did my gig.
Well, he wanted you
Okay.
fresh.
No,
and right.
he wasn't there for the gig. He showed up
Oh.
off.
I didn't say
The
anything.
way you nodded as if to say, well, of course he would not be there for the gig. No one wants to come to your show. I heard it.
Not true.
I heard it
I've
in the nod.
never said those words
Right.
like that in that order.
In that order.
In that order.
I did the gig at a bar called the Iron Bear.
Oh.
And then when I was done, I hung out for a little bit, and this guy showed up sort of like an hour before I was done, like just to like go to a bear bar. And he like came up to me, hooked up, or he like started hitting on me. And you know, I had like a gym bag full of sweaty costumes, and he was sort of like, "What was that?" And I was like, "Oh, I mean, because I assumed he had been there or whatever. I was like, oh, I did a show earlier. I was like, that's me on the poster over there, and like,
Aw.
and he was like, cool, whatever. I live close. Do you want to go?
Slay.
Slay.
So we went back, and it was the kind of mobile home. It was the kind of RV because
I
it was
like
like a
that.
drivable
Okay,
mobile
that's
home
fun.
That's
that
cool.
that it looks like you would rent. You know,
Okay.
very no personality, gray, like puffed leather interior, everything. But he was like, "Oh yeah, I've lived here a couple of years." It was just like it looked like the floor model,
Like right off the
And
right
I
off
was
the
like,
lot.
Okay, you're boring, but he had a crazy big and he was very nice
Well,
and
that's why he's boring.
slapped me across the face.
I
with
remember
them.
you lost your mom's favorite socks
Yeah.
that night.
That's right. He
I was
jerked off
wearing
into
her.
them. They were pantyhose. Okay, last call, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
They were pantyhose. You're disgusting.
Oh, hey, guys. I just watched the show. It was so great. Well, if you want me to be on your show, just give me a shout out or something. Okay, love you guys. Bye.
Okay, well where
Who
was all
was
where was all the in that
Yeah,
talk?
what was that
What was
about?
that?
Wait, who is that?
I don't know, but they want to be on the show.
Just give me a shout out.
Again,
Play it again. Do we know their voice?
Okay, let's hear.
Oh, hey, guys. I just watched the show. It was so great. Well, if you want me to be on your show, just give me a shout out or something. Okay, love you
you
guys.
know?
Bye.
It's Hillary Clinton.
It's Hillary Duff.
It's Hillary Duff.
See,
No.
this whole time I thought it was Hillary Swank.
The Power Hillary.
The Power Hillarys.
You think it's Deja Sky?
Oh.
Oh wait.
No.
No, that didn't sound like Uncle
No.
Deja.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
just
know.
thought it was funny.
was
to
funny.
I
like,
love that.
someone to call
To,
in
like,
to be like,
yeah.
have me on the
Just
show
have me
with
on the
no
show.
information. Well, you made it on the
Yeah.
show.
You were here.
You-
Thank
you
you.
did it.
Thank you, friend. Tien, thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
Tien.
being here.
Thank you both
An
so
icon
much.
and a legend.
No,
Thank
you
for
both. Thank
coming.
you. I had the
Anything-
most fun.
Anything to tell our people about?
I mean, just keep listening to Sloppy Pod.
And watch
never
How
steal
I
your
Met Your
mom's hat.
Father
And never
on
steal your mom's
Hulu.
hat. And practice pissing over holes.
Yes.
Okay?
And when did new episodes of the show come out? Every what?
They come out every Tuesday at midnight on the East Coast. So 9 o'clock on a Monday on the West Coast.
Oh, that's fun.
that's
Right
great.
there
Fun.
on Hulu. And there's is a big long season? Season
Yes.
2?
It is 20 episodes. We are.
Oh wow!
Amazing.
And we're going to have like a little mid-season finale. And then we'll go away for a little bit and they'll come back for the last half.
Oh, I
Oh,
love
I love that.
Yeah, so we'll just keep you engaged the whole time, hopefully.
Slay.
It's very fun. And you know what the thing I like is that like you forget that when sitcoms are being written now, they like I don't know. I watch a lot of old classic sitcoms, and so there's sort of like a lot of old tropes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you watch a new sitcom and you're like, oh, you're making joke about the men's rights movement. And
yeah.
like you're just like it's like, oh, this is comedy that's happening right now.
Yeah, it's like
happening
my
on a
brother and I
sitcom."
slept with the same woman.
Right.
Like,
And
that
you're
was like the
like,
hijinks.
Yeah, and you're like, oh like welcome to the 2020s. It's happening. Amazing. Well, look out for us at the soccer field in the spring.
We'll be there.
We'll be
be
there.
We'll be courtside for the women's basketball.
Come say hi to us.
And this weekend, if you want to get a bologna and American cheese sandwich, come on down to Precinct. Meatball will be selling them out front.
Hell yeah! Wrapped in bacon.
Why don't you hit us with the outro, Meatball?
Thank you so much for listening to Sloppy Seconds. You can follow us on Instagram at SloppyPod. You can send us an email to sloppysecondspod@gmail.com or call in with your own talk story to 213
Hey!
536
Yeah!
9180. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Big Dipper Jelly and Spicy as Meatball and Fat Drag Meatball on Twitter and TikTok, and follow them on podcasts everywhere too. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't ever miss an episode, which come out every Tuesday and Friday.
And a very special reminder, on Mom Plus, you can watch our unbleeped video episodes. And also, you get a secret little 5-minute after show that we're going to get into right now. So who knows?
Oh,
Ah.
yeah.
Goodbye.
To listen to Sloppy Seconds one day early, ad-free, and to watch our full video episodes, sign up for Mom Plus at mompodcast.plus.
Sloppy Seconds is produced by Moguls of Media, a.k.a. Mom.
Hosted by Big Dipper and Meatball.
Editing and sound design by
William Pitts. Executive produced by Willem Belli, Alaska Thunderfuck, Big Dipper, and Joe Cilio.
Our artwork was drawn by Christian Cimarroni.
And our theme song was written by Mike Malarkey.